name's Chantell Cooley, Chantell Cooley Ministries, and I'm excited to be with you. I'm doing a continuation, part 2 of the teaching on when you feel pressure in the middle of growth. And as marketplace leaders, we need to understand what's going on, and I really feel that's what I'm called to do, is to kind of give insight, clarity, and vision of what's happening. If you know what's going on, as leaders, we all want to know what's going on. Sometimes we feel like we're in the dark, but understanding what God is doing, I think I can give you some clarity, all right? So this is the last part we talked about. Pressure is proof you're in a new season. Pressure reveals what needs to be upgraded. Pressure is not a sign to shrink back. Pressure is the hallway to the next level. And I think these are so important. Remember, I said in the last video we talked about this, I said, you're built for this season. God trusted you with this expansion. And when you decide to go ahead and move on into that creates momentum, and momentum always breaks the pressure. Think of a big ball, and it's so heavy you can barely push it, but if you push hard enough, you'll get that momentum going. So I have a confession to stabilize your spirit. Are you ready? I am graced for growth. Pressure does not break me, it builds me. God is expanding my territory, enlarging my capacity, and aligning my steps. I walk in wisdom, clarity, and supernatural strength. I am equipped, empowered, and backed by heaven. All right, amen. All right, so let's go into this second part. The transition phase always attracts warfare. All right. That's interesting, isn't it? So let's dive into it. Every time God upgrades your life, there is a transition window, a narrow hallway between what was and what's next. That hallway is where warfare hits. What was and what's next. I hope that gives you an analogy. That transition phase is just a hallway. It's not for you to live there. Some people live there the rest of their life. And why is there this transition? Well, because the enemy cannot stop your destiny. He tries to disrupt you inside that transition phase. It's such a small place, but he will try to destroy you. And some people go back. Remember the children of Israel? They were transitioning into going into Canaan, but they just couldn't handle the warfare, and they wanted to go back into slavery. Can you imagine that? Well, sometimes we think like that too. We want to go back. Remember, the enemy cannot stop your destiny. He tries to disrupt you in transition. And before the next version of you fully emerges, he wants to stop you. But keep going. Come on, you can do this. Transitions, they are spiritually sensitive, mentally stretching, and emotionally vulnerable. Yes, you're very vulnerable during this time. You're scared, you're nervous. You may not admit that, but inside you feel a little bit anxious, okay? I think the more you can be aware, this is between you and God. You can talk to God and say, hey, look, I'm a little nervous about this, or tell your spouse or whoever you feel very comfortable with. You can say, look, this is more than I thought, okay? All right, so let's keep going. They require new faith. So these transitions require new faith, new clarity, and new capacity. The enemy knows this, so he tries to apply pressure during your shift. Remember, it's a shift upward. You're always moving up with God, never down. So never think like that. So the enemy knows this, so he tries to apply pressure during the shift. The enemy knows that you need to get new faith, new clarity, and new capacity. So that's why you're shifting upward, because of what God is showing you. You're ready, you're all in, and he will try to bombard you with warfare. So let's go into, a few steps on this, all right? Why warfare hits the transition phase. Number 1, you're leaving an old identity, but the new one isn't formed yet. This is where doubt tries to creep in. You're leaving an old identity. So you may say, are you sure? Am I sure about this? Can you handle this? Can I handle this? Or is the timing right? Some of these things are trying to creep in on you. The enemy only attacks identity when identity is expanded. Did you know that? When your identity is expanded, he doesn't want that. He wants you to stay where you are for the rest of your life, never thinking anything better about yourself or even growing. That's why I love mentorship. I love mentors in my life. I'm always growing. All right, so let's keep going. Number 2, the enemy senses acceleration. Did you know that? He senses when you're starting to jump into something new. Warfare increases when your momentum increases. He can see the new draft forming, and he fears the upgrade version of you. You could be his worst nightmare. I hope I'm his worst nightmare every day of my life. I always see my feet moving. It's just a visual thing. I always see my feet moving. Sometimes I'm running, walking fast, and sometimes I'm walking at a very steady pace, which is mostly what I'm doing now. I feel like that's called the rest of God. You're in his rest, in that place where you're very consistent. You just don't stop, but you're not trying to destroy yourself and go too fast. I've done that too. So I've kind of slowed down and I'm in this new transition phase. So remember, this is a capacity test, not a crisis. You're just expanding your capacity. It's all right. Keep moving. If you need to move slow, move slow. Number 3, old structures break in transition. Did you know that? Old structures, they have to. People shift, assignments shift, systems shift, and expectations shift. Everything shifts, okay? You can't just go into a new season without changes. You're not gonna bring the old into the new. You just don't do that. And when you do that, then you really didn't shift. You didn't go upwards. Something caused fear, there was something happened. So you have to do all these things. And the people, they're gonna shift around too. They may change, they may leave you, they may not wanna work for you anymore because it's too big, it's too much pressure, and they don't like it. They like the way things work. Warfare often looks like pressure, confusion, exhaustion, silence from people who used to understand you. They just don't know what to say anymore. And resistance over finances or timing. There's a resistance even on your finances. Something gets clogged, stopped, it's not moving like you thought. Just keep pushing through. Remind God what he told you. God, you said this. That's why you're doing it, right? All right. It's like a tug of war, all right? So number 4, transition exposes what must be dealt with. The enemy takes advantage of any healed place, old fear. Okay, this is number 4. Transition exposes what must be dealt. I don't want to leave you. The enemy takes advantage of any unhealed place, old fear, or unresolved issue. This isn't to destroy you. God uses it to strengthen you. The enemy tries to take advantage of places where you don't feel as comfortable, you don't feel like you have enough confidence. You maybe even have some old fears come back of where you were hurt recently and you were vulnerable and you don't want to do that again. So all this is trying to work against you. But God uses all of that to strengthen us. If you can come to that place, it is amazing. Go back and, if there's things bothering you, then look at it, stare at it, and go, you know what? I'm not there anymore. I've passed all that, and I'm doing okay. Release those people, let it go, and use it. You wouldn't be where you are if that wouldn't have worked out the way it would. God removed those people. You have moved on. You've grown. You realize you didn't need all those people to help you because you are already well able to handle it yourself. You're good enough. See, think like that. All right, number 5. Transition is where mantles shift. Every upgrade of assignment comes with conflict. Think of Joshua, David, Joseph, Nehemiah. Their greatest warfare came at the doorway at their next level. See, you're not doing something wrong. You're entering in something new. So don't misinterpret warfare as a sign that you missed God. It's usually proof that you're in the right hallway. All right, this has been amazing. I'm so excited to be with you. Hey, if you would like, and hit that button and share, it will help us get this out to more leaders that need that vision of how to carry that mantle. I am called to change lives, and I am really excited to be a part of those of you who are in Brazil or speak Portuguese, or you're in the United States. And let's move forward, okay? All right. Please share this with others, and also check us out on social media. All right, we'll see you next time.